Hello from London. I'm Eliza, a disabled Londoner who's lived here for over 27 years and spends all of my time in the best spots to hang out in London. In this video, we're going to let you in on the London attractions that we Londoners think are just big old tourist traps and give you our insider tips on how to get the most out of your trip by choosing activities that are actually worth your time. We have years of research and experience as Londoners and we can't wait to share. So let's go. Before we start, we've covered loads of places that we don't recommend and we think are not worth your money, such as Oxford Street, Leicester Square, Piccadilly Circus and the London Eye. If you want more information about why we don't recommend these locations, check out the links in the description box after you've watched this video. Let's start with these hop-on, hop-off buses. Every major city has some version of them. Basically buses targeted at tourists that drive around all the major attractions. And we get why you might be tempted to buy tickets for these. They're convenient and accessible. They'll take you around all the big touristy sites without you having to figure out where they are and how you should get around. And you can see a lot of London very quickly. But they are so expensive. Tickets are £37 each for a single day, so you could easily spend hundreds every day for your whole party to access it. They're often overcrowded and often get stuck in traffic, so it can take ages to get anywhere, all in the rain or hot sun. But most of all, we have such a good and affordable public transport system here in London. You can access buses as an alternative that can take you to a lot of the same places. They're accessible and a fraction of the price. Let me show you how. This is the 139 bus. It's a standard double-decker red London bus. And like all London buses, each trip costs only £1.75. And the whole day's unlimited travel, including the tube, won't go above £8.10. It also takes you to loads of the big sites in London, like Abbey Road, Selfridges, Covent Garden Market. You'll also drive through Trafalgar Square and Piccadilly Circus if you want to look at the big screens for some reason. There's also the number 12 bus that drives you across Westminster Bridge, the 35 bus that will take you to loads of cool markets in London, and the 9 that will take you to lots of museums and palaces. TfL, that's Transport for London, the people who run our public transport, have a page all about the different bus routes tourists can take. We'll link it in the description. And if you feel like planning your own routes, it might be a bit overwhelming. We can help there. Our itineraries tell you which routes to follow each day, which sites, tours, restaurants, bars, and more are absolutely worth visiting along it. They're designed to take all of the stress out of planning your London trip and are way better value for money than a day's access to the hop-on and hop-off buses. We'll pop a link in the description if you want to find out more. One bonus tip here. I'd really recommend these Uber boats for a super different perspective of London's riverside sites. They're flexible and relatively affordable, and you can pay for them in the same way that you do for the tube, using your contactless debit or credit card or with an Oyster card. More info in the description. London has a bunch of attractions that are tailor-made for tourists who are mostly just after a bit of entertainment, and they have a price tag to match. They're commercial, tacky, and not all that special to London, and we don't recommend them at all. You can probably imagine the kind of places we're talking about. That creepy wax museum, Madame Tussauds, the London Aquarium, Shrek's Adventure, and we can only guess why that's so popular. We know it can be overwhelming with kids to find things that are pushchair and wheelchair accessible, interactive and rainproof, so we're going to recommend a couple of suggestions. So this is still one of London's big attractions, but we really like the Science Museum. It can get busy, but we think it's a great day trip for kids, particularly if it's tipping it down with rain like it is today. It's entirely wheelchair accessible, which makes it pushchair friendly, and it's free to visit. There are loads of different things in there which are interactive for kids to enjoy. There's things to learn from Britain and beyond, and you could easily get lost in there for the whole day. And if you want to see some interactive art, we love the Serpentine, which is where I am at the moment. It's totally free to visit. It's in Kensington Gardens, and it's great to attend with kids. It's a contemporary art museum with loads of different bold and striking exhibitions, and it's only a 10-minute walk from the Science Museum, so if you have loads of energy, you could even do both on a rainy day like today. Visiting a new city can be really overwhelming, so we've created a free guide that every visitor needs to read before coming to London. You will learn how to get to the hotel from the airport, how to use currency in London, what you need to know when you're using public transport, and how to plan for London weather like the rain like this. The guide is designed to take all the stress out of visiting London, and it's completely free. Just click the link in the description after this video. Right, let's get back to the video. On the theme of commercial and expensive and not as cultural as they seem, you might have heard of experiences like the London Bridge Experience or the London Dungeons that claim to be museums but are more like cheesy interactive theatres or scare dungeons with theme park rides. I mean, they are sort of educational-ish and they can be fun for kids, but honestly they're so expensive with long lines and the history is a little muddled at times. But the good news is that we do have some really amazing museums and experiences for people who do want to learn about London's past. First of all, that famous bridge that you've seen countless photos of, well, it has an awesome museum that will teach you all about the amazing history and engineering of Tower Bridge. It's super interactive and educational and gives you the best view into a slice of London's history. If you visit at the right time, you might even be able to catch the bridge lift. We'll link the bridge lift timetables in the description below. We also adore the Globe Theatre tours, which show you the incredible theatre on the site Shakespeare's plays have been performed since 1599. You can see how Shakespeare's plays were performed and can learn about the many versions of the theatre that have stood on the South Bank since Shakespeare's plays were first performed. Don't be mad at us, but we think that Harrods is really overrated. It's full of tourists walking around looking at things that are far too expensive to buy, and it's not where a Londoner would really hang out. We get that it's really fashionable, fun and Instagrammable, and there are toilets inside which are difficult to find in London, but we've got some other recommendations which you can use to go shopping for your London trip. Firstly, Liberty's, which is where we are now, is a beautiful old building with lots of lovely flowers outside, and it's just off of Oxford Street. It's a more manageable department store than Harrods, for example, and it's known for its beautiful products and amazing fabric. We also love a bit of local shopping when we're in London, and we recommend Brick Lane. It's full of amazing galleries and loads of vintage and independent stores. There's loads of things that you can visit and you could easily spend the whole day there. There's amazing markets and we just absolutely love it. If you're looking for London specific items, we recommend East End Prints. It's a great place to get all of your souvenirs to bring back as gifts for your loved ones at home, and it's an independent and local shop. So there you go. Now you're ready to explore London like a pro and spot those tourist traps dotted around the city. If you've got any tips for fellow travellers on places to avoid and where to go instead, leave them in the comments down below. And for more videos to help you plan your London trip, click on one of the boxes popping up around me.